Let's do this. Are we live? Are we on?
We are.
Is my show starting?
Things are
Hell
happening.
yeah. Dude. All right. Welcome to the Horse Track. I am Horse Lover Fat, and I'm coming to you from the Place Your Trades Network live, which hosts daily podcasts where we trade our yes or no picks for event contracts live on the air. If you want to see all of our hot picks and get a chance to win weekly cash and prizes, go to placeyourtrades.com. When you sign up, you'll receive a free trade from our sponsor, Trade of 8. But in order to claim that free trade, you must open your Trade of 8 account on placeyourtrades.com. That last part is super important. Open your account through placeyourtrades.com to get your free trade from Trade of 8. Trade of 8 has made it incredibly easy to open an account. It's really awesome. Last time I tried to open a brokerage account, they asked me for my firstborn son and a stool sample. So I sent them my second-born son and said, this little shit will have to satisfy your criteria. Let's cut to the full face and get into the opening monologue. You hear that sound, friends? Tell me in the chat what you guys are sipping on this evening. Horse is sipping on quite a bit here. Are we doing the full face? Are we doing a monologue? Or are we just jumping right into this? I want to make sure I'm on top of what's happening here and not stepping on the toes of our friendly producers. So I want to talk about the event contracts in detail. I have a special guest with me this evening. You can already see his face on the screen for some reason. I was going to bring him in later. It was going to be fun and special, but he's here now. So Mayhem, welcome to the Place Your Trades podcast. I'm really happy to have you here, buddy. We're going to talk about these contracts. I want to talk about our picks, but I want to talk about how this day started because it was interesting for me. Okay. So before we get into the details, I first want to welcome everyone to my first show here. I can't believe Anthony Crudele is letting me do this, but I'm like, what can I say? The guy's he's made his entire career taking risks. This might be the biggest risk he's ever taken, to be honest, letting me have a radio show live, saying what I want. It's an absolute disaster waiting to happen. But when Deli reached out to me, he asked if I was interested in publicly losing money speculating on markets that I know very well, and I couldn't resist that. As a masochist, there's absolutely no pain quite like failing at your passion publicly, and I couldn't resist that chance. So I'm in. I said, Deli, I'm in. This sounds amazing. I love this. I think this is going to be fun, a chance to learn about a new product. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. My two kids aren't feeling so good. My two youngest boys, they're home sick from school. And Mayhem, I woke up this morning with a rash. I was freaking out. I was like, holy shit,
what happened?
I can't get sick before my first Place Your Trades podcast. I was panicking. I was itching all over. I had this rash. My chest was all itchy. I felt like my skin was flaking off. And then I realized it wasn't a rash. It was ranch corn nut dust. I was laying in bed. I got higher than giraffe titties. I was catching up on the new Game of Thrones episode. Covered in corn nut dust. And I rolled out of bed this morning. I turned on the computer and I tuned into the Order Flow Labs podcast this morning here on Place Your Trades Network. And I proceeded to listen to these gentlemen talk about fingering some dude named Leroy and placing bullish bets on the Russell 2000.
Wait. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's back up here.
I thought I was still high, Mayhem.
Bullish bets on the Russell. Isn't that sacrilegious? Like, what's happening right now?
You never go full Russell, man. And what a terrible way to go down, too. Like, if you're going to make a really bold prediction, you don't do it on the Russell 2000. That's like being fucking beat by the Detroit Lions, man. You don't go down swinging on the Russell 2000. It's embarrassing. So our goal tonight is to give you guys some better picks. We're going to talk through that. My partner in crime and I, Markets and Mayhem, we are going to go through what we like for tomorrow for these event contracts in detail and explain why. I think this is going to be fun because it's a chance for us to just kind of joke around and have some fun and talk about the markets in a lighter fashion than we normally do. For those of you that don't know, Mayhem and I started TraderAid.com. If you're interested in more serious analysis, we do a lot of it over there. every Wednesday we do our own podcast where we break things down from a technical perspective and a macro perspective. However, this show is going to be a lot more fun because we don't have to be our normal trader aid selves. We can really talk about what do we think is going to happen tomorrow. And that's the beauty of these event contracts is it's a 1 day expiration. Okay. So a little bit of the details for folks that are just tuning in, want to explain exactly what it is that we're going to be talking about. These are the new event contracts from the CME Group. Okay, so it's a $20 notionally valued option, basically binary option, yes or no, on 10 of the most liquid futures markets that there are. There's 8 or 9 strike prices. You have an at the money, and then you usually have 4 strikes above, 4 below. All of these open at 5 p.m. and they close at the settle time for that market, whatever that market might be. All right, there's slightly different close times depending on what you're trading. The quotes are all in dollars, and they're in 25-cent increments, which is cool, not ticks. So it's all in dollars, easy to understand for everyone's smooth brain tuning into this. So your maximum gain on any one of these contracts is $20 if you hold it to settlement, right? But here, that's the beauty, is you don't have to hold till settlement. You can sell if you're up or if you're down. Okay, so that your broker, they're going to charge a commission upon purchase, but right now all the fees are being waived, and the exchange only charges a fee if you hold to settlement and it's profitable. Okay, so this is really cool. They're waiving fees for a while. We're launching this thing. We're really excited about this new product. I'm excited to explore it. Okay, I know every time something new comes out, people are hesitant and scared and nervous. That's a lot of what the Horse Track Show is going to be about. We're going to explore these things together, learn the best ways to trade them, because I do think there's going to be legitimate opportunity for some strategy in this, right? But in the meantime, we're going to start pretty simple today. What do we like? Is it going to close higher or lower for tomorrow? And we're going to talk about those specific markets that we're looking at and interested in. Make sense, Mayhem?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So let me introduce you. I know you're my partner in crime over on Trader Aid, along with Aisha. The three of us have been really excited to work together this year on some awesome stuff. But this is really our first chance to kind of just goof off and have fun in a little different setting. What's your take on these new contracts? Have you checked them out? Are you excited about this? Like, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? Just want to get your thoughts on it.
Sure. I think it's really interesting. It's unique. It's different. I think it gives people who are newer to the idea of trading maybe a different way to get more familiar with markets on a short-term basis, on a day-to-day basis. Or, also, I think it's interesting because it's a very low bar to entry. We were talking off mic the other day about this a little bit. And from my understanding, there's not going to be any commission, at least not for a long time to come, if ever. And there's probably no wash sale tax restriction on these for deducting losses, and the amount that one has to commit and puts at risk is extremely small. And then there's the binary strategies, but there's some potential, and we'll probably talk about this maybe some other time, but there's some potential for hedging strategies and other kinds of more complex strategies here. So all in all, I think on the surface it sounds really neat, but there's also some depth.
Yeah. And one of the things I'm excited about, if folks that follow me and know my work know that I'm not a big options fan for retail traders, right? And that's really at Trader Aid, that's our community. We're for retail by retail. I tend to be a little bit overly pessimistic about options because I think it's a sucker's bet, especially for newer traders, right? That don't have the experience. You're dealing with more than one basically, factor that you have to account for, which is up or down. Now you're adding in time with options. What I like about the event contracts is you don't have the theta, right? So you don't have to worry about getting burned in that regard. Your risk is very limited. You know what your risk is going into it. And the beauty is there's no fees until April of 2023, according to Crudele. I'm checking out the chat here. Hey, if you're in the YouTube, if you're watching this, talk with us in the chat. We want to hear from you, hear your thoughts as well. So Crudele says there's no fees until April. That's fantastic. What a way to launch something new, let people try it out. So I'm excited about it for multiple reasons because I think there is legitimate trading strategy. Even though we're going to goof off in this podcast and sort of talk openly about what we're looking at, we're still very serious traders at heart. And I think there's opportunities to explore these things in detail, which I'm looking forward to doing over the coming weeks. But for tonight, I really just kind of want to get in. This is my first experience picking these things, other than just fading the life out of Fleury and his Russell to the moon picks earlier. This is my first experience doing it in the first show. So we're actually going to do our picks live and talk about what we're looking at. So with no further ado, let's go to the wagering window. Shark, can you pull up the wagering window here so we can look at what the markets are doing? There's a possibility Shark is higher than we are right now. There he is. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to the wagering window here at the horse track and take a look at the 10 markets that we are going to be trading with these new event contracts. We have the S&P 500. We have Nasdaq, everybody's least favorite, the Russell 2000. The Dow, everyone's favorite boomer index. The Euro to USD, which is the only market I don't trade. So I think I'm going to do something fun with that one because I'm going to be honest. I'm not a Forex guy. I lost my virginity a long time ago. I don't trade Euro, but I do want to make some picks there. So we're going to save that one. Gold, silver, Dr. Copper, crude oil, and Nat Gas, natural gas. If you if you love YOLOing, Nat Gas is your vehicle, man. So these are the 10 markets, and what I have here up on the screen are the last 5 daily closes for each of them, and then just a simple assessment. For those of you that follow my swing trading know that I love the 50 daily moving average for swing trading. That's just trying to give me a feel for how are each one of these trending. Okay. And so red or green, as you can see, we are in the midst of an absolute bloodbath across the board. Every single one of these is below the 50 daily moving average. Some of them well below. And most of the last 5 closes for these markets have been red, have been down. I have a little gray there on the Nasdaq. That it was basically flat today. And so I put that one as gray, right? But either way, we're in a bloodbath. Would you agree, Mr. Mayhem?
Yeah, absolutely. When every single 50-day moving average across all 10 instruments is, I mean, we're all below the 50. They're all red on screen. I mean, that's the definition of a bloodbath, where everywhere you look, there's red, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is, the challenge for me is I'm a trend trader. Everyone that follows me knows that. So obviously we wanted to show this graphic because if you're a trend trader and you're into following trends and using these event contracts, the odds are to the downside, right? Usually momentum continues. So that's a tough thing to fade, obviously. However, I kind of want to get into the nitty gritty with what our actual picks are going to be in which markets and why. So Shark, take us back. Let's do some picks. All right. Mayhem. I'm going to start with the S&P 500, sir, because that's my bread and butter, my favorite trading vehicle. We're going to talk about ES, and I'm going to pull up, let's see, grab my phone here. We're going to pull up the app. If you go check out the app, you need to be on the app, folks, for Tradeovate to see these contracts. We can put a link in the chat for you if you want to see them. Right now, they're in the midst of updating some of the data. So the strike values are not loading right now, but the strike numbers are. So tomorrow's ES strike, above or below, is 36.75. Okay. 36.75. That's the number we're talking about. Now, remember, there's multiple strikes above and below. You can explore those. For today's first podcast, we're just going to talk about the over or the under before we get into any of that fancy stuff. Right now, ES and Globex is trading right around that number. 36.73 at the time. Time stamping this right now is where it's trading. So the question is, does it trade above that or below that tomorrow at the close? I'm going to give you my pick, and I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, and I want to hear yours. Now, we just said I'm a trend trader, then I just showed you a screen full of bloodbath markets. I'm personally looking to take the over on this one, the yes. I do think we have a higher close, and I want to explain my rationale. I think we're in for more volatility and downside tomorrow. We got Jerome Powell on deck. I think he's at around 10 a.m. or something. He comes out flapping his gums. I think the volatility is obviously not quite over. We've had 6 closes in the red for ES, which hasn't happened, to be honest, in quite some time. I think the last time we saw that was back in January of this year, 6 in a row on ES closing down. We had 5 in a row back in June, which put the bottom into the market for a while, for a couple months that we traded off. Here's the hard part for me. I freaking hate double bottoms. I think double bottoms are the dumbest fucking technical trading pattern that exists, because it, in my opinion, it's outdated, right? They used to work great. Nowadays, stops are going to get run. So you could call today putting in that double bottom, even though we went down below by a couple ticks, a couple points. If you look at it on a daily chart, it's really double bottoming from June here, right? I don't love that. In fact, I have zero confidence, and I trade mostly intraday ES using liquidity in the opening range. Today I was looking for 36.50, and I told Deli this morning, I said, Deli, if 36.50 trades, I'm going to do my podcast drunk as fuck tonight, because I was short. In fact, I'll let you testify to what I texted you yesterday. I was really short. Really short, because a big part of my trading strategy is resting liquidity, and we had a fella down at 36.50 patiently waiting with his 1,300 lots that wanted to be filled. I was looking to trade down towards that individual. Well, now he's been filled, so the question is, what happens now? Do we bounce from here, or do we see a little bit more pain? I think there's potential for volatility because I hate double bottoms. There's still some liquidity at 3,600. So here's the way that I'm going to play this, especially because the prices are not available to me. I'm not going to put this event contract on during the Globex session, but if we make new lows tomorrow, that's when I'm going to start buying the yeses. We're trading too close to it. So even if the prices were showing to me right now, they're probably pretty close to, I would say a level that I would find unfavorable to buy. I don't know if it's going to be right around $10 or not. I have no idea. But I do know if we're starting to make lower lows tomorrow and breaking those yearly lows, that's when I'd be interested in taking the yeses. What I'm looking for is that bullish daily candle with the long wick on the bottom, showing the buyer stepping in. All of this is predicated on not getting absolutely bent over from Jerome Powell's speech. Okay, so I'm going on a risk. I'm taking the yes on ES, but I don't want to buy it until tomorrow during regular trading hours, because I think we might push that fella down at 3,600 who's waiting to buy. Give me your thoughts on ES.
First, we definitely have Powell 10:15, and 5 minutes before, it's like this some sort of simulcast of different hawkish Fed speakers. We have Bullard speaking. So that's going to be like really, really fun.
The Bear King Bullard.
Yeah. With the ironic surname. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting bit. I'm similar in opinion on this one with you. I think we're more likely to move higher by close tomorrow than lower by close tomorrow. The market's really oversold. I mean, you look at the NYSE McClellan oscillator or just the total market McClellan oscillator. Yesterday on the total market, it was really like the most oversold it's ever been. And obviously that oscillator hasn't been around forever, but about 12 years of data. And that was the deepest oversold it's ever been. You also have a lot of folks that were just piling into single stock puts that are likely just a little bit exuberant with the bearishness, or at least the hedging that's happening there. We have a lot less of that skew on S&P over the SPX contract. You have a lot less of that skew towards the put side than we normally do. So hedging is being expressed differently through single stocks and also through shorting of S&P futures. So I don't think we're in a market that's I think we're basically at a point where we could either go down an elevator shaft straight down, or we could actually have a decent reflexive rally, and probabilities really do lean towards that mean reversion type of rally at this point. So I'm not a big fan of double bottoms either, but
I like double bottoms, but I want to see them in the strip club. I don't want to see them in the market. I just don't love it. I don't love it. And I think there's more. I think there's room, because what I was looking for today, to be honest, was stops to get run from the initial bottom. When you only trade down a few ticks and double bottom, but we didn't really see any stops get run. I think there's a possibility you see a blowout washout straight from 3640 to 3600. That's what I'm really looking for in terms of like that bullish, seeing the buyers step in. We've seen some aggressive buying. If we're being honest, looking at things that we talk about a lot in our Discord at TraderAid and on our website, looking at just sort of the activity of the large participants, there has been very aggressive bullish buying the past 48 hours. Whether it's short covering, I don't know. The point is they're not getting anywhere. Right now, they're still being pushed, but the delta by price will show you they have stepped in very aggressively, and it's not been working for them, right? They're buying, and price continues to move down. So I think we are in a place for a washout in a bounce, a reflexive bounce. But one of the things I wrote about in Sunday's weekly market prep that I just want to remind everyone of is oversold is not a bull thesis. Oversold can become way more oversold. That's not a reason to buy anything, in my particular opinion. Because oversold can continue to just get worse and worse and worse, right? So it's really risky trying to find a bottom. What we're talking about in this specific case is not the bottom. We're talking about tomorrow. So one day, I think we close above 36.75 tomorrow. 36. And the reason I say that too is 36.80 is a very big iceberg level from institutional engagement, very large orders getting shoved through there. So is 3,700. So I'm feeling that washout in the morning and then a bid back up. Let's move on to a couple of the other markets that are similar. NQ, right now the strike for the event contract is 11,400. Right now NQ is trading 15 points below that at 11,385. I'm feeling the same way about this one. The relative strength in NQ versus ES the past few days should not be ignored. I do think NQ was showing surprising strength. I don't know if that's the new flight to safety. You know, I remember laughing my ass off during the COVID crash when what CNBC was talking about Apple stock being like the new bonds. It's the new safe haven. Well, there, as the last couple of years have unfolded, there might be a little bit of legitimacy to that, which is really sad to say. But NQ has shown some relative strength during this recent sell-off. So I would also take the yes on that one as well. I do think it would close over 11,400, looking for that 11,500 if you want to get fancy with some of these strikes. Remember, though, the yearly lows for NQ are way down at 1150, right? So there's still a little bit more room. The strength is still pretty decent. So I'm taking the yes. I'm assuming you're probably thinking the same thing since ES and NQ are very similar. Is that a fair statement before we talk about the Russell?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't ignore the relative strength of the Nasdaq, which is a long duration risk asset with bonds, which have just been absolutely plummeting. So when Nasdaq's showing that kind of strength, I think you got to stay long it unless that changes. So tomorrow I would be constructive and say yes on Nasdaq.
Love it. Let's talk about RTY. The strike for the Russell tomorrow is 1670. I'm going to make this one real easy for everyone. No. I'm taking the no. No.
You know,
No. You never take the over Russell. The Russell was made for fading. It's the biggest piece of shit the stock market or the Wall Street has ever created. It's really just made for shorting. It's a vehicle for shorting. You want to take some anger out. You had a bad day. You're upset about event contracts. You're worried about World War III. You want to cancel football and apple pie. You short the fucking Russell. That's what you do. That's what it's for. So, no, I will have now and forever. If someone's asking me, hey, what are you taking on RTY's tomorrow's event contract? I'm finding the most out of the money RTY strike, and I'm buying it because it's a shorting vehicle. And people think I'm joking. I'm being facetious a little bit. But if you think about it, every great company from that piece of shit graduates. It's literally an index designed to fail. Right. So if you're a great company coming from the Russell, welcome to the fucking big leagues. Welcome to ES or NQ, and all the trash is left behind. The only reason that thing gets bid is because of high frequency algorithmic correlations in the market. If people were honest about the Russell, it would be trading negative like oil did a couple of years ago. Give me your pick on RTY tomorrow.
I'm going to specifically take the other side of that to piss you off. I'm going to go long the Russell specifically to piss you off. No other strategy.
Uh,
That's a
well,
yes.
you remember what happened to Fleury and Joe this morning. They were taking the over on the Russell. I just want you to keep that in mind. You never go long the Russell. You just don't do it. You don't do it. All right, let's talk about the Dow. The Dow, everyone's favorite boomer index. The strike tomorrow is 29,250. I'm taking the yes for the same reason I take it on ES and NQ. I think it's actually more oversold, arguably, than the other indices. I would trade yes on the Dow. Crudele put in the chat here on YouTube, trade it or fade it. I want to hear from the people. What do you guys think? Would you take the yes or the no on the Dow tomorrow at 29,250? Again, we're not talking about the prices because I don't have them available to me right now as they're refreshing the data. The question is simply, do you think the Dow will close above or below 29,250 tomorrow? Crudele is a yes. I love that. The man has the most beautiful pompadour in the business. I'm all about it. He's taking the yes. I do think it's ridiculously oversold. It's also another safe haven for folks. A lot of times it gets equated with that flight to safety. You see people pile into the Dow. Andy Featherston says he's a yes. Ali is a yes. Anthony G said he never thought of RTY like that. You're so right. You know what, Anthony? You and I could be friends. We could be friends because I'm spitting truth. People might not want to hear it, but the Russell 2000 is basically just a vehicle for shorting. That's all it was made for. People treat that thing like a Perkins waitress. I'll stop myself. I've had too much to drink. Okay, moving on. We took the yes on the
hold
Dow.
Hold on a second. I don't think I got my vote on the Dow there.
Whoa. Oh, you want to fade me on the Dow?
No, that's not what I said. I'll take the long on the Dow. I think we retrace right back to the top where we were before the COVID crash. Nice level to get a little bounce. So I'll take yes on the Dow. I'm not fading you on the Dow. I'm just fading you on the Russell to piss you off. That's all.
You know, and you might be right because the reality is the Russell's just going to catch a bid with everything else. If we're right on these yeses, the Russell's going to go up too.
Right?
I'm saying no out of spite. So what I'll wait for that fucker to get bid up tonight if the pajama traders keep bidding it up, and then I'll buy some Russells tonight instead of waiting for tomorrow. I'll take the nose to see if I can get something better out of that. So moving on, let's talk about the metals. And you know what? I'm going to start with gold, and truthfully, that's the only one that I'm going to take a trade on. Again, I don't. I own physical silver. I don't really trade it anymore. I don't hang out on Reddit with all the other freaks that talk about the silver squeeze. So probably for most of these shows, I'll focus on gold. And copper is another interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Can we just have a segue on silver, though? You're talking about Russell as a place to lose money and to short. I mean, look at silver.
Hey, a lot of people love trading silver. They really do. They hate money. But
yeah,
to me, silver's something to own. Own the physical. Don't trade it. You're going to get your face ripped off. Let's talk about gold, though. So the strike for tomorrow on gold is 1640. Is it going to close above or below that? Now, this is probably the worst example of trend trading of all time. I'm going to say that I'll take the yes on gold because I think the dollar, the DXY, is due for a chill pill. I think it needs to calm down. Those two things trade, with pretty decent amount of inverse correlation. I think the dollar is due to calm down a bit. We had that whole debacle with the pound turning into the ounce. There's a lot of things that just have driven DXY. And don't get me wrong, I am bullish. I'm bullish the dollar long term. I do actually think the US dollar has more room to go up. We are only talking about tomorrow. We're talking about the next day. This is why I think this is so much fun, because a lot of times we have to give our analysis on what we think is going to happen for the entire week or out into the future. This is fun because we're just talking about tomorrow. I do think that dollar has a chance at pulling back, which would give gold a bid, even if it's a baby bid. And I think it's reasonable to see it close above 1640. This is another one where I think I would wait to see it get beat down overnight, because everyone fucking hates gold overnight. They sell the shit out of that overseas. So I'll wait for gold to get bid down before I start looking at those yes contracts. But I'm going to take the yes on gold because I think the DXY is due to calm down temporarily, but not in the long run. What's your thoughts on gold?
I'm going to have to fade this one, Horse. I'm going to take the no on. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. You did say something about how you shouldn't be trading gold. So I'll just so
I
I'll just
shouldn't.
say I'll just say that with rates rising the way they are, the dollar as strong as it is, even a reprieve, I'm not sure how much it would give us back, but I think we're going to see rates rise further tomorrow. And I think it's going to be on hawkish Fed speak from Bullard and Powell. And I think those rising real rates are going to be what really puts pressure on gold and could give the dollar a little extra strength. So I'm going to take the other side of that.
All right, that's fair. I mean, like I said, I'm blatantly trading against the trend. The trend is the dollar up, the gold is down. This is a risk. I'm trading against the trend, and I acknowledge that I could be completely wrong on this. Also, gold has fucked me more than my wife has, so
Oh my God.
I know what I'm getting into already, and this is likely a bad call. All right, let's talk oil. I want to be brief on oil. The strike is 78. This is a no-brainer yes for me. I think there's a lot of things that align with being bullish oil at this point. Some of the geopolitical tensions are always a risk that are hanging out there. That's hard to trade with a one-day horizon. Even though it's in a structural downtrend and oil has been plummeted down to 78, I would still take the yes on this from a technical perspective. We're not going to pull up any charts, but I think I would take the yes. I think it's reached the bottom of a channel and it's due for a bounce. What do you think about oil?
Yeah, I would take the same. I'm going to go yes on crude oil. I think 74 is a very reasonable strike for this to close above tomorrow. We've got a lot of drivers for it to potentially move higher, but not the least of which is just we've gotten so sold down here, and we're starting to, like you said, come into some areas of support. I also saw a lot of energy, not just in crude futures today, but in particular in energy stocks after they had been beaten down so hard. So I think we're starting to see some folks circle back. I think they'll be continuing to buy tomorrow.
Yeah, there was a decent little bit in there for oil. So Crudele's saying yes. I like that. We see some other yeses in the chat. I see. Is it Flylear 45? I took my gold calls off today. Good luck, horse. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I'm going to need it. That's funny. All right. And then we have Nat Gas. Natural gas is at 6. The strike for tomorrow is 6.8. Now, I'll tell you what, if you want to trade natural gas, it's basically like walking into a casino. Take all that money you want to trade on nat gas, put it in one slot machine with one pull. That's what it's like to trade natural gas.
I don't know.
It's
I'm gonna take the under on that. I'm gonna say what trading natural gas is like is taking all of your money, walking up to your favorite large fire, and just throwing it into that fire.
It is such a wild trading instrument, and it's not. This is one of the cool things about these event contracts. This is not something that I trade very often in the futures. There was during the COVID crash, there was another guy on FinTwit who I would DM with. We would get drunk and trade nat gas because it was hilarious, like scalping it. But I haven't really done it since then, to be honest with you. It's been like at least a couple of years since I've touched it. So I think this is going to be fun to have some exposure to a highly volatile market without all the risk of trading the futures, right? So people want to talk about what are the benefits of trading a binary event contract. This is one of them to me, because personally, I'm taking the yes on nat gas. I think there's some factors that could make it bounce above that 6.8. You have the hurricane, which, by the way, on a serious note, all of our thoughts and prayers for anyone down in Florida. I know Crudele's trying to get out of the way right now, and some other folks that I'm friends with. It's not really a joking matter, so I'm being serious. If you're in the eye of that storm, I hope you stay safe. I do think it's a potential factor to consider for natural gas. It was up almost 2% today. It is sort of bouncing off some potential support, you could say, from a technical perspective. So I'm going to take the yes and continue to see, hopefully see nat gas bouncing through tomorrow. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, my thought is, just I don't think weather is going to be a big issue. I think we're in a pretty significant and steep structural downtrend that's probably going to continue tomorrow. I do think longer term it's good to be constructive on natural gas, but where it is right now, I'm going to take the under and say it closes below 680 tomorrow.
Oh, you're fading me on that. You didn't see that bounce though? It bounced really hard off 6.6. It bounced pretty hard off, man, and it's been running. So I mean, the RSI reached the oversold condition. We were under 30 and it bounced. I'm going to continue to play that momentum and say nat gas continues up tomorrow. I can't believe you're fading me.
You hate double bottoms. You hate double bottoms. I hate relative strength as an indicator. So we have those.
Oh, that's completely fair. That is completely fair. I'll
It's
give you
so
that.
arbitrary.
All right, that's hilarious. All right, so for the last one here is the one market that I don't trade. So this is what I thought would be fun. Okay, what I'm going to do is see if I can pick the results for the Euro USD better than random. All right, so the strike for tomorrow is 0.965. Okay, for Euro USD, it's currently trading 0.96435. Again, I am not a forex trader. I understand its impact on the market, and it's huge, but it's not a market that I actively trade. So based on what I'm seeing with this thing getting absolutely murdered, I'm pretty sure it's at like 25-year lows or something insane. Like, it's been absolutely crushed. This is completely random. So take it with a grain of salt. I do think it bounces. Right? You got 6 closes in the red for this thing. Wait, no, I'm sorry, 5. I think it's 5. It's been absolutely beaten down. We've seen it all over FinTwit. People are going bananas about it. Horse likes to take risks, so I'm going to take the yes on the Euro USD. Even though it's blatantly trading against the trend, it's well below the 50-day. It's been absolutely smashed. It's oversold. Again, I'm taking the yes. I think the Dixie needs to chill a little bit, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to flip a coin for the randomness and track over the next several weeks. Am I better than random for the Euro USD? You ready? Heads is going to be yes. Tails is no. Here's the coin flip results. The coin flip results is a tails. So the coin is taking no. So we're going to log that. The coin flip is taking the under. Horse is taking the over. We're going to track over the next few weeks. Is my skills and experience as a trader better than random? Okay, this is like Dave Portnoy style. Like, I'm reaching into a bag of scrabbled chips here, but I am going to take the yes and see if I can outperform random over the next several weeks. I don't know if you have any thoughts on the Euro USD.
I do,
but that's my pick. Oh, okay, hit us.
All right. So first, I think we can all agree it's called soccer now.
Yeah, I've seen the meme for sure.
Right. So I think
pound
that's
got pounded, right?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, with everything that's going on in the Euro, I don't think it's anywhere close to done in this move, even on a day-to-day basis. I think we've got more downside, particularly my other side of my view that I was looking at with gold is that rates are moving higher tomorrow. So if I'm consistent in that view, then I'm thinking Euro's got more to fall. As everyone who's listened to any of our Trader Aid shows knows that I've been shorting Europe all year long. And every part of Europe that I can short, I've been shorting to as close to zero as I can short it. So I'm with that on the Euro as well. I'm taking the no.
I'm glad you say that because, we're having fun and making jokes, but I have to give you some props. You have been short literally all of Europe since like the beginning of the year, and it's been one of the best trades I've seen play out, and I don't think you get enough credit for it. It's been a pretty amazing call. You did put it out there publicly. For folks that are interested in us not being total morons, please check out traderaid.com where we do actual serious analysis and showcase what we're looking at, why from a macro and a technical perspective. This is really something for fun. I think I'm really excited. Those are all the markets we're going to cover tonight, but I'm excited about this new product because I've lost enough money betting on a yes or no outcome on the Detroit Lions. I might as well do it. I might as well do it in markets that I know, right? And that I have a little bit of an edge in. I think this is going to be fun. I'm excited to see how this plays out over the next few weeks of us sort of just chatting and talking about what we're looking at. So I'm just excited. I can't thank you enough for joining me. We're going to do one final segment here. If the producers are still with us, I don't know if I lost them or not, but we want to do something fun, just give away a little bit of swag because a big part of this show is we want to have a good time and make you laugh. So we're going to do a caption the photo contest. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is tweet out a photo, and I've tagged Place Your Trades, and we're going to do a caption. Let me tweet it right now here. I'm a little hammered. Give me a second. The tweet is coming out from my Twitter. In the future, they'll come out from Deli's, but I know Deli's a man on the move tonight. So I tweeted it, And producer Shark, can you show the photo that we want to caption? This is one of the this that's one of my favorite photos I've seen recently. It looks to me like Janet Yellen sitting coach. Time, Janet Yellen down bad. she's on an airplane. She's clearly studying something. I can't tell if that's her sipping coffee or her assistant. But the picture just went out from my Twitter. So at Michigandolph. I'm not even gonna try to spell that. I'm too drunk for that. But if you can find my Twitter too. Is it? Leave your reply. Give us your funniest caption of what's happening in this photo. A quote, anything you want. It doesn't matter. Give us something funny because this picture just cracks me up. I saw this like a week ago and I was like, oh man, we got to do a caption contest with this thing because it's one of the most ridiculous photos I've seen in a while. It's just hilarious. Leave us a caption of your funniest quote and we will pick a winner, whatever one makes us laugh the hardest or gets the most likes or whatever we end up doing. We're going to send somebody some Trader Aid swag for free on us. We're going to keep doing giveaways, not only from Trader Aid, we're going to make the prizes bigger and bigger as we go week to week, but also just know there are more prizes and opportunities to win stuff through Place Your Trade. So I can't emphasize enough, go to placeyourtrades.com, sign up over there. There's going to be different options for you. If you want to continue to talk trash with us in the YouTube, you can sign up for that. But I would encourage everybody, honestly, I think we'll end on a little bit of a serious note. Explore these products. That's part of what we're going to do on this show and as a team. I know there's a lot of anxiety and apprehension when something new hits the financial markets. I would encourage people to check them out for themselves. I think there's something interesting going on here that as a trader, I am interested in learning more about, understanding how to use these products in my actual trading. Like, we're having fun, but I see these as a very, very real application for example, overnight hedging. As someone that does a lot of futures trading during the day, I think there's application here that's very interesting and intriguing to me. And I'm excited to be in this early with everyone, learning it, exploring it, talking about what we're looking at it, and ultimately having fun with it. Money is serious enough. We don't need to make it any more serious. We can have a good time and chat about what we're seeing, what we're thinking, and why. And it's even fun to disagree. We don't always have to be on the same page. I made some picks tonight that are counter to the obvious trend, something that I would not normally do in my day trading. But I think there's opportunities to get in with low risk and calculated risk to have a chance at a return on something with a specific thesis. So I had a lot of fun with this. Mayhem, I can't thank you enough for joining me this evening. I'm looking forward to the future weeks. I am going to try to have some other guests on as well. We just sort of want to make this fun and entertaining from week to week, tell some jokes, have some laughs, talk about current events, talk about what we're looking at. But Mayhem, any final words before we sign off this evening?
Yeah, I wanted to express my sincere gratitude for inviting me on and letting me fade your trades.
I almost spit beer out of my nose. I would not suggest. I would not suggest fading. Did someone just play a radio style horn sound effect?
Yes.
What the fuck is this? What is this? AM radio? Shark, is that you? Look. Two can play that game. Two can play that game. If you're gonna pull up corny radio sounds, I'm gonna drop in some animation because I am at the strip club. I saw that from Order Flow Labs in the chat earlier. It said, Horace, are you at a strip club? You're goddamn right I am. It's Tuesday night. I had one of the biggest ES shorts of my life, so we're making it rain on the Place Your Trades podcast this Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see everybody next time. Don't forget to leave your funny comment on the Yellen photo. We're going to send somebody some swag. Can't thank you enough for tuning in. Tell your friends about this show. Check out the event contracts from CME. Make sure you go to placeyourtrades.com. Use their link to open your account at Tradeovate. And I can't emphasize this enough. Tradeovate has lowered the barrier for entry significantly to open an account. You don't need any money down to try this out, to explore these things, to check it out. I strongly encourage you to look into it before you naysay something new in the markets. all of my success in the markets has come from being early to things. Keep that in mind. It's worth exploring these before you shoot them down. We'll see everybody next week. It's 8:45. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.
All right.